Hey guys, I am Sharon Tillman here. And so I stopped in today because I want to talk a little bit about just knowing who you are. Do we know the real importance of knowing who we are? Do we really know the real importance of showing up authentically and genuinely as who you've been called to be? A lot of times we are so unaware of who we are and who we've been called to be that we just show up any kind of way. And sometimes, can I just tell you, sometimes we be really just walking normal, right? And you don't know, but somebody next to you might know. Somebody across the way might know, and they might see it, and they may be intimidated by something that you don't even know that exists. They may literally be like, oh, it's something on her. I don't like it. I don't even know if she knows it's something on her. Let me do what I got to do. You know what I'm saying? It sounds crazy, but the reality is that a lot of times people will see something in you before you see it in yourself. How do you get to the place where you get to really recognize who it is that you've been called to be? How do you get to that place where you get to really recognize what it is that's on the inside of you that's got the other people walking a little different, a little you don't even know why. Have you ever been in that place where people just really don't like you? And this ain't no bashing people, because we don't do that over here. But have you ever been in that place where people just they have a preconception about you? They don't really know you, but it's something about you that it don't really sit right with them. And you be just being yourself. You ain't did nothing to nobody. You just out here trying to be yourself. But that's because they can recognize, and because the enemy knows. Let me tell you about the enemy. Because one thing that I always say is the enemy knows that God is great, right? He knows. And my bishop says all the time that the one thing that the enemy wants that he cannot get is another chance. So he knows that he got to use his imps and pimps down here. He know I got to use the people that's down here because I ain't getting another chance. And I want everybody around me not to get another chance. So a lot of times the enemy will recognize that it's something in you, and he'll plant that seed inside of other people, got other people moving different and other people acting different. And sometimes they know why, but sometimes they really don't. And while you are unaware, the enemy has already peeped into what it is that God wants to do. I know that it's something there. Does he know the plan and the purpose? No. Does he know exactly where God is going to take you and how God is going to do it? Absolutely not. But he knows that God is great, and he knows that God done put a plan and a purpose and a seed there. And if you can ever tap into what it is that he wants to do in you, then you will be a force to be reckoned with, right? And so a lot of times your struggle will be equating to some of the things that you've been through. If you've been rejected, if you've been abandoned, all of those things will start equating to okay, this is a place where the Lord is using me, or he wants to use me, because these are some of the things that I've been going through. But the enemy knows it. So the enemy puts these things on you and tries to make it so heavy. He tries to make it so bad and so hard and sometimes so unbearable that you get stuck there. And that you can't move forward, so that you get stuck there and it becomes a part of your identity, so that you get stuck there and you don't know how to get out. You build up a wall that you don't even know how to break down. You don't know how to tear down. You don't know how to climb over it. You don't know how to go around it. This wall is consuming you and it's crashing down on you, but you don't know what to do. You've got to submit that to your Father. Listen. Although the enemy may be able to use whoever will allow him, you are the only one that can kill that seed that the Lord has placed on the inside of you. You're the only one that can kill it if you don't nurture it, if you don't allow it to grow, if you don't allow it to mature, if you don't allow it to produce exactly what it is that it was called to do. You are the only one that can do it. So no matter if the enemy knows what's on the inside of you, if you don't know what's on the inside of you so that you can fight that thing, listen, we are out here defending what it is that the Lord has put on the inside of us. How are we doing that? How are we stepping up? How are we walking in that? We're not allowing the enemy to win because he's bringing adversity. The Bible has already let us know that there are things that we are going to go through. The Bible has already let us know that it ain't going to be no cakewalk out here. So anybody who come into Jesus because they just want an easy life, baby, don't come to Jesus for an easy life, because the life with Jesus ain't easy. It's worth it 1,000%, but it's not an easy journey. You got to walk this thing out. You got to be intentional about this thing. And there are going to be times when you feel like you are losing. You are going to be walking through seasons at times where you feel like the Lord done abandoned you. But I promise you, he's never abandoned you. He's always with you. He'll never leave you. He'll never forsake you. That is what his word says. So you've got to get bold and confident in who it is that God has called you to be. This is why it's important for you to know who you are, because you don't get to allow other people to know who you are, and you don't know who you are. So you walk around here and you allow people to throw things at you. You allow the enemy to do all of these things to you, and you take it. You submit to it. You just, you crumble up under the pressure. It's like jewelry that ain't real. It ain't surviving in the fire. Like, you are supposed to thrive. You're supposed to survive. You are supposed to go the long way with your Father. Don't you know that he is with you? Don't you know that he is not out here to leave you? All you got to do is submit to him and go with him. And even when it's hard, I promise you, he'll be right there. You've got to get that thing on the inside of you that pushes you, that perseveres, like even when things are hard, that lets you know, no, this is who I am. This is who my Father has called me to be. And I know the enemy is out here to kill this thing because he don't want it to produce. But this baby is going to live and not die to declare the works of the Lord. This thing, this purpose that the Lord has placed on the inside of me, it shall not die. This seed, it shall be produced. It shall come forth in the name of Jesus. This thing that the Lord has, because he thought enough of me. Y'all know I get excited. Let me calm down. Ooh. Because he thought enough of me to put this seed inside of me, because he thought enough of me to plan a purpose for me, because he thought enough of me to make me the mouthpiece for him, the display for him, so that I can go out here and edify and glorify his name, because he thought enough of me to do all of those things I didn't even think that I was worthy of. How can I not stand bold and courageous and resilient in who it is that he's calling me to be? How can I not tap into what my Father is saying concerning me so I can see what the hype is really about? Why do people mad? See why they're really mad. Listen, the enemy don't want you to become what God has called you to be, but it is up to you to allow that thing to live. It is up to you to give birth. It is up to you to not crumble, to not fall, to not faint, but to keep going no matter what. No matter what is said, no matter what is done. Listen, you ain't the only one who done walked a hard life. You ain't the only one who done been through trial and tribulation. You ain't the only one who done been through adversity. You ain't the only one who gonna get a divorce or has gotten a divorce. You're not the only one who's had trouble conceiving. You're not the only one who's lost a child. You're not the only one who's walking a journey that you don't even know if you can make it through. But I promise you, if you go with your Father, I promise you, he will allow you to know that not only can you walk it, not only can you overcome it, but you can help somebody else along the way, because you will have what it takes in order to bring other people with you who have to walk that journey after you. I am here to tell you that who you have been called to be is purposeful. It is valuable. It holds weight. Do you hear what I'm saying to you? Who your Father has called you to be, it holds weight. We ain't out here speaking words to speak words. Your purpose holds weight, sis. Your purpose holds weight, bruh. Don't you dare let that seed die. Don't you dare not do what it takes in order to bring that thing forth. Believe your Father, trust your Father, and allow him to work in your life. I am Sharon Tillman, and I love you guys for real. Have an amazing day.